The Eunuch Maker, a tale of deception and redemption. In the serene countryside near Drammen, Norway, a small village nestled close to Oslo, Marius Gustavson grew up as an unassuming child. Born in 1977, he was known to his neighbors as a gentle, if socially awkward, boy who struggled to find his place among peers. There was little in his early years to suggest the dark legacy he would one day forge. Yet, beneath this quiet exterior, a complex and troubled journey was beginning to unfold, one that would lead him from rural innocence to the heart of a chilling criminal enterprise in London. The seeds of trouble. As Marius entered his teenage years, he began to shed his reserved nature. In Drammen's tight-knit community, he emerged as a vocal advocate within the local LGBT scene, organizing events and building connections. His charisma hinted at leadership, but it was tempered by a troubling disregard for boundaries. By his late teens, Marius faced his first brush with the law, convicted of embezzling goods worth £5,000. The incident was dismissed by some as youthful folly, but it marked the beginning of a pattern. Years later, a more serious crime, misappropriating £30,000, landed him an 8-month prison sentence. These early missteps revealed a man willing to bend rules for personal gain, a trait that would later define his infamy. In 2012, after a failed marriage left him untethered, Marius left Norway for London, seeking a fresh start. Instead, he found himself drawn to a shadowy subculture, one that revolved around extreme body modification and the pursuit of becoming a nullo, a term for those who seek to nullify their genitalia. This niche world, though small, was fervent, and Marius saw not just a community but an opportunity. Building a dark empire. By 2017, Marius had transformed himself into a figure of authority within this underground scene. Under the pseudonym Theo, Greek for God, he launched a subscription-based website that grew to over 22,000 members worldwide. The platform, a digital haven for those obsessed with body modification, allowed users to create profiles, share their desires, and access exclusive content. Marius, now self-styled as the Eunuch Maker, orchestrated procedures in makeshift settings, dingy hotel rooms, and rundown London apartments using tools meant for veterinary purposes. These acts, often consensual but shrouded in coercion, were recorded and monetized, reportedly earning him over £300,000. Marius's operation was not a solo endeavor. He surrounded himself with accomplices, including David Carruthers, a former NHS worker who falsely claimed medical expertise to gain trust, and Neil Hopper, a once respected surgeon whose involvement stunned those who knew his story of overcoming personal tragedy. Together they preyed on vulnerable individuals, men grappling with identity, acceptance, or personal crises who were drawn to the promise of transformation and belonging. One such individual, known only as Michael, later spoke of the manipulation he endured, realizing too late the irreversible consequences of his decisions. The unraveling. The Metropolitan Police began to close in on Marius's operation in the late 2010s, following tips about disturbing content circulating online. The investigation revealed a web of criminality, with charges ranging from grievous bodily harm to possession of extreme material and conspiracy. UK media, including The Guardian and BBC News, described the case as unprecedented, highlighting the scale of exploitation. Prosecutors painted a picture of a predatory scheme that targeted vulnerable men, offering them a false sense of community while profiting from their pain. The trial exposed the psychological tactics Marius employed, manipulating his victims' desires for acceptance or radical change. The court heard how his website not only facilitated these acts but also commodified them, with subscribers paying for access to videos and materials. The case sparked broader conversations about the regulation of online platforms and the ethics of extreme subcultures. For the victims, the scars were not just physical but emotional, as they grappled with the betrayal of trust and the weight of their choices. A reckoning and reflection. Marius Gustavson's conviction, alongside that of his accomplices, marked a turning point. The court's ruling was a step toward justice, but it could not undo the harm inflicted. The case left an indelible mark on the public consciousness, raising questions about the dark corners of the internet and the vulnerabilities it exploits. From a quiet boy in a Norwegian village to the architect of a disturbing empire, Marius's story is a cautionary tale of how charisma, technology, and unchecked ambition can converge to devastating effect. Yet, within this darkness lies a call for redemption not for Marius but for society. The case underscores the need for empathy, vigilance, and robust safeguards to protect the vulnerable from those who prey on trust. As the dust settles, the voices of the victims, like Michael's, remind us of the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of fostering communities built on genuine care rather than exploitation.